What up, y'all? We back. Not Coach Tomlin show. Your boy got my man Cody back with us again. Of course. I feel like
People.
Cody's not going anywhere, man. So this is our show
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Basically, this is our show.
Absolutely.
So the people got to just get used to it, man. How's your week been, man? How's everything?
Everything's good, Tomorrow's already Wednesday, believe it or not. The days go
Yeah,
by slow, but the weeks fly by. You know how it is every single week. So,
especially during football season, man. During football
yeah.
season, the weeks really fly by. It's crazy.
Yeah. You have the Sunday game, then you're like, all right, Monday. And then it's just like, all right, let's get to Thursday. And even sometimes it's Saturdays. So
Yep.
later on in the
Never
year,
know,
though.
man. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, I guess I got to start off with just still thinking about that loss, man. Still got the nasty taste in my mouth with that loss. Especially after watching Coach Tomlin's little conference today, where he kind of recaps the week that we just played and things of that nature. And what do you think, man? What's your thoughts on that loss, man? We recorded the day after and kind of gave our immediate kind of aftershock thoughts, but now that the dust has settled
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something that you had brought up in text with me is the Herbig snaps. I don't know what went on last game with that. He needed more. He's a playmaker. You got to give him snaps. You got to give him reps, or it's tough to get into the zone out there and make plays when you're only getting 25 to 30 snaps a game.
Right.
When he's out there, he makes plays. He gets sacks.
Yep.
Strip sacks too. You know what I mean? So he needs to get out there on the field. They need him too. If Watt's out, send him in. If
Right.
people are tired, send him in. But he definitely needs to see the field more. He needs to get a chance to make plays for the Steelers. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, the problem that I had with his usage, 29 snaps in the game.
Yeah.
And the reasoning Mike T used in his press conference, they asked him about it. He said, well, basically what he said was essentially he's not a great run defender, is basically what he alluded to. He's not a great run defender, and we didn't have the ability to make him one dimensional and like get him into those passing situations. So Herbig didn't really get on the field. My problem is they didn't stop the run anyway. So like
Yeah.
you didn't stop or the pass. So like give them a chance, right? Especially in that last drive when we're talking about we need it, These guys been gashed all day. He needs that. He's a splash player, man. He comes in for those kind of special moments, man. I remember Cincinnati game last year. He made a big play on Joe Burrow, strip sack, and Peyton Wilson ran it back. Pivotal moment of the game. Like you said, man, he just needs the opportunities, and that's what it's really kind of always been with him. We've seen what happened when Highsmith was out and how he was able to fill in admirably, right? The
Yeah.
run game, first couple of weeks got gashed as a whole, and he didn't play the first week. So then
Yeah.
Highsmith went out, so he didn't play the first week. He got gashed up. Second week, what was that? The Seattle game. Everybody got ran
Yeah.
over,
That
right?
was yeah.
So then Minnesota, that's when Herbig had like 3 sacks that day. So like
Yeah.
these are situations where we got to get these guys chances, man. Obviously, the defensive line was getting manhandled all game, so like Herbie needs to be in there too, man. Somebody got to switch it up.
Yeah, it's that, and then on the other end of it, it's like then you keep a guy like Slay who just got torched and embarrassed the entire game, and you kept him in there.
Yeah,
I know we have our guys, and he likes to go with who we have. Slay is like I want him off the team bad. You know what I mean? Like I need him out of there at this point.
yeah,
Because he didn't help us at all. So it's on one end you have a guy that didn't get enough snaps. You have a guy that you play too many snaps, in my opinion.
yeah.
Um,
It's tough, man, because at the same time we can acknowledge that that's an elite receiving core that we win against. You know what I mean? Because that's 2 of the best in the game. One being arguably the best in the game. So
yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's we got to take that into consideration. But it was just a terrible defensive output for 3.5 quarters of the game. So like in totality, it looked like
yeah,
absolute trash.
yeah. I
Especially because you
mean,
couldn't get to the quarterback. So and Herbig he's the sack leader. So like right? If
Exactly.
he's not going to be able to, people talk about how he's not that great and how he capitalizes off other people's. Well, put him in the game so we could do that. Like,
Exactly.
and that's the part that kind of just disheartening to hear. Basically, them saying, "Well, he's not a great one run defender because he's too small," and it's like, well, nobody defended the
But
run. So what are we talking
yeah,
about?
I mean, I if you had to pinpoint, like, is it more on the secondary or more on the defensive line? It's definitely more on the secondary because Burrow was doing 3-step dropbacks and getting the ball out of his hand. So
Flacco, even worse.
sorry, sorry, Flacco was getting 3-step dropbacks and just getting rid of the ball. So the defense wasn't like Watt and them weren't able to get pressure because our defensive backs just weren't either pressing up or they were just letting quick throws happen. So
Yeah, Terrell Austin
it
didn't
falls
make
a
that
lot on them
adjustment.
because you do need to get those sacks when you're shutting down in the secondary too. That's when they can take advantage. But to get to the quarterback in like 3 seconds it's tough, you know.
Yeah,
So the DBs need to do a better job. I know who we went up against, very good and all that, but they needed to step up and they didn't. That's the
right.
bottom line.
Because the fact of the matter is, like, we will not win a playoff game like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have to go against elite players. So like that's the opportunity to perform. So like
Yeah,
we gotta be able to answer to that when it comes. And that was a time when the lights was bright and the Thursday night football curse was there. So like, all the stars were aligned for the Bengals to have that kind of night. But whatever, man. We're on the Green Bay now. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about the something I want to do weekly. The op report. So I want to talk about the ops, man. Talk about the AFC North.
yeah,
Obviously we still got a 2-game lead on the division. At 4-2, Cincinnati's what 3-4. So like, what's
three and
that, game and a
four.
half, right?
Browns 2-5,
The
Ravens
Bro-
1-5. So
the Browns won. The Browns beat up on the Dolphins the other day, pretty bad. Um, that's
they
no
don't. They're
testament
not.
to
I'm
them
not
being
worried
good,
about them.
right?
You know
I
what I
don't even
mean?
want like that's what I was gonna say. We're not even gonna count Cleveland with the op report really. Aside from I only included them last week because they traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals. So like
Yeah.
that was
Exactly.
foolish, but whatever. But I'm hearing that Lamar hasn't practiced this week yet. Um, that's a pretty big deal for the Ravens, man.
Yeah, they
And
were.
they play against Chicago this week, so
Yeah, they were hoping to have him back after the bye week. Obviously, it's again, it's only Tuesday, so who knows
yeah,
what happens the rest of the week. I mean, hammies are nothing to play with, so they're not going to rush him back if he's not 100% because it would just be silly too.
right.
Now the Bengals again. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do what they do, do what they did against us every single week. So I'm not too worried about the Bengals either. Knock on wood.
They're
But
playing the Jets this week though, so if that
yeah,
means anything.
yeah. Watch the Jets defense shut them down though. Um,
We'll
but the
see, man.
Ravens, I mean, even though they're 3 games behind, I'm still worried about that,
Right.
because if they don't have Lamar this week and they lose, then it's just like their season is essentially like done. They would have to go on a crazy win streak, but if he does play this week and they win and they get rolling, yeah, they make me nervous for sure.
Yeah.
Never count the Ravens team out ever.
Could never count them out when they got 8 at quarterback, man. And speaking of our 8, Aaron said that the best way to get into the playoffs is to win the division, man. So like that's why the op report is important because we got to keep,
Yeah,
what I mean, we got to keep tabs on what's happening in the division. The more games we win, especially division games, we still got 4 left. You know what I mean? We win
yeah,
all those, and essentially we could lock it up. So like
yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
that's a huge deal, But the next 5, so the next 5 games for the Ravens, they got the Bears at the Dolphins on Thursday night, so they got 2 games in the week.
Hmm.
Then they go to Minnesota, which might be a tough game, depending. Might go.
That's
Then
a
they got to go
sneaky
to
one.
Cleveland, and then they got a home game against the Jets. So like, if Lamar's back, they could easily 4-1 that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They could win all 5. Really, they got an opportunity to win all 5. Um, and so that's why we got the next 5: Packers, the Colts, 2 home
Hmm.
games, 2 tough home games.
2 tough home games. Yeah,
We got to go to LA to play the Chargers. Then we got the
tough ones.
Bengals at home,
Yeah.
and then at Chicago.
Yeah, I
So
mean that's a tough road coming up. Like I don't think we lose to the Bengals twice. I will say that if we do, I'd be pretty surprised about that. But I mean, we just got to focus on the Packers though. For them, like right now,
Yeah.
this is a big game. I will say I love the fact that it's Sunday night. Tomlin has a great record, 17
Yep.
and 8. So at
Hmm.
home, a 17 and 8 on Sunday night. So I like that better than 0-4. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. And we don't get, hopefully we don't have a hour and a half rain delay like last year against Dallas. Like guys didn't
Yeah,
start playing till like 10 o'clock. It was pretty like, trash. Ended up losing that game
yeah.
again. But the Packers, man, have you watched them play at all this season?
I've only seen a little bit. I will say though, with them, I mean, the run game is as good as anybody's when it's on fire. You know,
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs hasn't seemed like Josh Jacobs 100%. He wasn't supposed to play last week, but he did, and he did really well. But if we can shut down their run game and force them to pass, I think we have a chance. Unfortunately, I think Packers might squeak us out. But there's definitely the run game has to be number one priority because obviously that's how the Bengals got going a little bit on us and they ran it down our throats. So we need to have a little
Right.
bit more pride.
They
Pride
gashed
shutting
us.
down the
They
pass
gashed us
game.
with Chase Brown. So we got a premier running back coming into town. And we really have to get off the line, man. The trenches. We got thrashed in the trenches, man. On the defensive side, I should say. Packers defense. They got number one over there, man. Micah Parsons
Yeah.
has been he's been on a tear.
Yep.
I mean, I know they played the Cardinals the other day, but the way he did those guys the other day, man, was pretty crazy.
Yeah, he dominated. He absolutely dominated.
And that's what you're supposed to do against teams that aren't expected to be as good. You got to be able to have those kind of performances. That's what he did. That they almost lost that game. Still, Jacoby was kind of doing his thing. So with that in mind, I think that we do have some opportunities offensively to put up some points this week, but we got to execute. Aaron got his one stupid ass interception out the way for the year, so let's roll. You know what I mean? What he needs
Yeah.
to do though, I don't know. I might have to go back and look at all the film, but I think Aaron's 2 for 2 when we see him on camera sniffing that little
Yeah.
that
This the
little
smelling
stick.
salts.
Yeah, he's the second time that you saw right before he threw that touchdown to Pat.
Yeah.
He sniffed that thing.
Yeah.
His eyes got wide, and then next thing you know, he threw a tutty. He need to do that every drive.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't see that.
Anytime
That's
they're in
not a
trouble, just
coincidence.
do that. Yeah.
That's not. You got to
But
keep it going. Hopefully,
no, I
Broderick
think
Jones doesn't tackle him.
seriously, I think that they're going to be smart enough to run away from Micah. Um, and chip block him. Get Big Darnell over there to help block on him too, just to stop him. Obviously,
Yeah,
you only can contain him for so long, obviously. But if you continue to either chip or double, I don't know if the rest of their defensive line is going to be good enough to get to Rodgers. But make somebody else make a
Rashawn
play.
Gary, man. Rashawn Gary
Yeah,
cannot sleep
I,
on him either.
but make
VMS,
somebody else
you
make a
know.
play. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Don't let Micah be the guy to do that because obviously same thing with the Steelers. If you shut down Watt, somebody else gets a sack. It's just not like as good. I guess I
right.
don't know really how to describe it, but like when TJ gets it, there's like an electricity that you feel as a fan.
Yeah,
So I get that from Micah too. So if we can just contain him as much as possible, run away from him, then our chances offensively moving the ball obviously are just going to be higher.
right. And then I saw Trey McBride got busy on him a couple times, couple plays.
Yeah,
Aaron just got to continue what he's been doing, man, and kind of take in what the defense gives him. And I've seen, I mean, this defense has had 40 points scored on them as well. You know what I mean, during the season. So
yeah,
like, there's opportunities there, and we're not a team. I mean, surprised we scored over 30 points a couple times this year. We're not a team
yeah,
that's going to light up the scoreboard like that. Well, I'll take it if we do, but I don't see. We're not built for them kind of shootouts. You know what I mean? We don't want it to turn
no,
into that, as we saw Thursday night. Like we have to lock in defensively, and then just capitalize on the mistakes of the defense on the offensive side of the ball. The run game, Jalen Warren played great. We didn't even talk about Jalen Warren.
yeah, I know.
Ran a pretty. I think he had over
Yeah,
100 yards rushing
yeah,
too.
he did. Yeah, he did. No, he ran well for
And so
sure.
we got to continue that, man, because that's going to open everything up like it did. You know what I mean? And I think that we do have a chance. It is going to be, uh, the way momentum goes. I'm hoping that the Steelers use that loss as momentum to really understand the gravity of the hold we have on the division right now.
Absolutely.
Because if you slip this one, now you're down 4-3, and you got a really good indie team coming in, and then you got to go on a road. They don't really play well on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Historically speaking. And then going into a division game, the last thing we need is to drop 3 games, and now we're looking at everything is all jumbled up, and everybody's 4-5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then that's where you lose hold of it, because we still got those division games that we got to play as well. So this is like I'm not going to call it a must win. Just like last Thursday, I was like, it's a massive game for the division. But this one it's got to be a game where they get back on track. You know what I mean? It kind of has to happen here, even though it's only been 1 loss. But like, Lamar's coming, bro. Like you said, well, no matter how we want to look at it, Lamar's coming. And if Joe Flacco could keep these guys like afloat, you know what I mean, for the next 4, 5, 6 games, Joe Burrow's going to speed up that timeline to get back. And
definitely.
So by the time that happens, we want to have everything squared away, man. And we have opportunities to do that within the next 5 games. The Indy team, they've won a lot, but they've been very close to losing a lot of those games as well. So we won't get ahead of that. We'll kind of, work on the Packers right now, because that's where we got to focus. But the next 5 is what I'm looking at, man. It's going to determine what the season's going to look like, because we still got Detroit. We still got Buffalo.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Most of the next 3 games are going to be really difficult, and we gotta pull a couple out for sure. And it starts with the Packers. And another thing that the Packers do well is not turn the ball over. I mean, Jordan Love, I think, has only 2 interceptions on the year. So Steelers just need to find a way to either confuse him or pick him off a couple times, or just get to him in general.
Yeah.
And again, stop the run game, force a couple turnovers, and I think Steelers can be in good shape.
Yep.
But that's asking a lot for, turn Jordan Love over. He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, but he does tend to hold on to the ball as well. So that's where, that's where the secondary has to. Only reason why he's going to hold on to the ball is because the secondary is locking up. So they got to lock up.
Don't let Golden get loose. I have a weird feeling like Golden, they're going to throw screen passes to him or find him open and make him use his speed. And Steelers aren't necessarily great with that, obviously, in the secondary. So Golden is a guy.
They missed so many tackles, man. I watched that game. They missed so many tackles that game last week. They better be in practice hitting everything moving, man. Because it was a poor display, and I would like to believe they don't want to do that again. Especially in a home game following the loss on Sunday night. Like you said, this is a prime time situation. All eyes on us. How do you respond to a loss to a team where you know that they were going to be pretty good, but we should have been better? Yeah. So this is the opportunity.
Offensively, we could be better. I think I saw Calvin Austin might be on a positive road to be able to play this Sunday. So if we can get him back too, I mean, him and Rodgers seem to be having a connection before he went down. So if we can get him back, obviously that heightens our offense that much more. But we'll see if he's gonna test it, if he's gonna play or not when it gets closer to Sunday.
Yeah. So that also reminded me to ask you, Steelers ain't make no moves yet, man. We done talked about Steelers possibly trading for a receiver or something along them lines. What are you thinking now? Because I'm hearing Olave is probably going to get an extension with the Saints. AJ Brown, we saw what AJ did the other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not getting rid of AJ.
AJ's not going anywhere. Olave's not going anywhere. Jacoby didn't play. Does he know he's going to be? Like, what do you know?
If Jacoby Myers has to be our second option, just keep Calvin Austin. I don't care to give up anything for that guy, man. I don't. He's not gonna elevate our offense to the point where it's like, oh, we got him, now we're contenders. Like, that's not an AJ Brown, that's not an Olave, that's not a playmaker.
I don't think we need a game changer receiver out there. I think we just need somebody that could get his.
Exactly.
And Jacoby
take off a little heat from DK.
Jacoby got his with Gardner Minshew. You know what I mean? As a number
Yeah.
one. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell and all them dudes. Jacoby, I think he would be a viable threat. But I mean, if they just use Pat Fryermuth like they used Pat Fryermuth on Thursday, we don't need to do anything. Like
Yeah.
Calvin Austin
No,
gets back,
absolutely.
you know, we can work with what we got. Like you
What
said,
would you
it's
think
not
about
going to be a major
like
move.
Tyler Lockett?
Oh yeah, that's right. They Tyler Lockett got released. I like Tyler Lockett, man. I like he's like everybody else we added in their offseason. If this was 5 years ago, I would be super excited about it.
Like, yeah, of course. No, of course. But I
I
mean, if
like
he's the
Tyler
best
though.
option, and you don't have to trade anything or do anything crazy to get him. Like he's yours right now. You might
Yeah,
as well test the waters, and if not, then go after like Jalen Waddle. Waddle would be excellent. But
yeah,
again, I don't think that's realistic. The thing about the Steelers is they love talking about getting receivers, and up until this year when they got DK, it always just fell through. Like for
yeah.
some reason, receivers are never a priority for the Steelers. There's like we're just gonna play with what we got, and then
Normally
we'll
they
go
just
from there.
draft them. That's because they normally draft them.
Yeah, and but again, you're still hoping, and
Yeah,
Steelers
that's because
don't.
they went on that run where they got Emmanuel Sanders, Mike
Yes,
Wallace, Emmanuel
Mike
Sanders,
Wallace, Antonio
AB.
Brown.
Then they got
Yeah,
Martavis. They got Juju.
but
They
yeah,
got
again, Martavis was only good for so long. Juju had like one or two good seasons, so they need to. I don't want to rely on the draft when you can just, if you wanted to, just go get a guy right now.
yeah.
Use a couple of picks if we have to. Don't wait till next season because we need the help right now. And I mean, Rogers is done. So
Yeah, but I mean,
uh,
I'm not gonna lie, man. Roman Wilson, he made a few catches too this past week, man. So
I
like,
know. I told you, dude. Get him in the offense. Get him involved. Maybe throw quick screen passes to him. Like do something with him because he's got a couple big third down catches last game. So he's
yeah,
capable of making plays. Just give him a chance. Just give him a chance.
yeah, it's just interesting that people still looking for the Steelers to make a trade after scoring 30 plus points. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
is the receiver spot really an issue? I don't know that it is. You know, but if they're gonna make a move, like you, I think you said earlier, like I don't want to hear anything else about it. Like either make a move or not. You know what I
It's
mean?
literally every day, man. It's
Yeah,
every day. It's like this is who they're targeting. It's cool.
right.
When are we going to hit the target then? Or are we just going to keep talking about it?
Right. I do like the idea of Rashid Shaheed, like somebody like that. Um, that we can throw a fourth or fifth at, and he could come in. He knows his job. He gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
take the top off, try to break that cover two shell, that too high shell, and get the other guys open underneath. Maybe that I'll be okay with something like that. Jacoby's not that kind of guy. Olave could get it done, but he's not going anywhere. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like in for what we'd probably have to try to give up for that, I don't think it's worth it at this point. So go get Tyler. Tyler's a nice, he could, but that's kind of not any different than having Calvin Austin either. So like,
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's veteran leadership, and that matters in a
right,
locker room. And he's been there, he's won. So I
yeah,
think just bringing that along can help without a doubt in the locker room.
true. That's very true. It wouldn't hurt. Definitely not. So then, what are you thinking, man, about this Sunday night game? What's your prediction for the game?
Well, I was off last week for sure. It's so common to just be biased and just be like, this is what it is. Steelers are going to win every game. I'm going to take them to win. Do I go against Tomlin's record? I don't know, and I don't know, but I'm going to go against it. I'm going to say Packers squeak us out like they've done a few times with other teams this year.
Hmm.
I'm going to say 23-17 Packers. Or 23-20. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be good. I just think it's going to be another little skid that the Steelers hit, and until we bounce back, and then I think that we actually do end up beating the Colts at home.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this one. Even during my season review, I had this as a L on the record.
Yeah,
I think that the Packers come to town. Aaron does not get to beat all 32 teams. I think this is going to be a loss for the Steelers. I'm looking at like I don't know why 24-30 comes to mind.
mm.
24
So
to
you still
30.
think that we're going to put up 20 plus points again? Which I mean, hey,
Yeah,
I like
I think
that
I think
idea.
that it'll happen. I don't
The
know
Steelers
how.
give up 30 points back again. If the defense gives up 30 points again,
At this
yeah,
point, bro, I don't like they gave up 30 points to the Jets, and look at the Jets, man. Because I was like, yo,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I said, watch out. After that, I was at the
yeah,
game. I told you, bro, I was at the game, and I was like, yo, this Jets team's gonna be nice. They're gonna surprise some people. And like now, look, it's like
yeah,
the Jets weren't that game was just an anomaly, but the Steelers got 30 points dropped on their head again at
yeah.
home. You know what I mean? So like,
And this is just a typical Steelers game where it's like they're facing probably, I would say, a better team than us for sure.
yeah,
And we never, not never, we hardly win the games that we shouldn't, and we lose a lot of the games that we should win.
yep,
So it's like, when's that going to turn? And that's why it's tough to say that with confidence Steelers are going to win this one, just
yep.
because we just lose against the teams that we should lose against instead of surprising people and be like, damn, that was a hell of a win this weekend. Like, so I didn't see Steelers beating the Packers, you know?
Right. Yep. I think like I'm trying to think back the last time that actually happened. And I was like, oh shit, they really surprised me.
And it's not, and the Ravens don't count because those games are always, you know what it
Yeah,
is when
yeah,
you
those
go,
games
it
are
doesn't
always in the
matter.
air. Those games are always in the air. They always come down to a 3-point game. We scored. Boswell kicked 6 field goals last year and they beat the Ravens. So like,
Yeah.
that's a game that the division games are always in the air. I think was it Buffalo a couple years ago maybe. And I was like, oh snap, they actually won. Um, but yeah, like it's hard to have faith in his defense, man. I don't know. So I think they
Yeah.
do get another 30 points dropped on them. You know, and LaFleur is a great coach. You know what I mean? They come in, they game plan. All they had to do was watch that game Thursday night, and they see the wrinkles, and you know he's a great offensive mind, and he gonna
Yeah.
put Jordan Love. Jordan Love can sling that ball, man. So
Exactly. He's got the
it,
weapons. He
right,
really does.
and if you cannot find a way to shut down this run game, the way Chase Brown was gashing them, bro, I don't feel confident. You know, and then
I
forget
know.
it, Jonathan Taylor coming into town the week after. So like
Uh,
they better figure it out, man. You know?
yeah. And yeah, for sure. And Sunday night could be the night they semi figure it out. But we'll have to obviously wait and see. I hope that they don't come out flat. I hope that TJ, you know, gets his ghost costume off and is visible this game.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah,
they
because
need to make
that's
plays.
the other thing too. I wanted to go back real quick because you mentioned Micah and and how running away from him and things of that nature. That's what teams have done with TJ, right? And the
Yeah.
only reason why they do that and they're able to do that is because he only plays one side. Like,
Yeah.
all right, well, TJ's playing on the right side. We're just gonna run that way all game. All game
Yeah.
long. We're gonna run that way. And the one play Chase broke to his side. I don't know. Was he in? I don't even know. But when you overload that side and just double team, triple team him, then you know what I mean. So I think Aaron is, he's been given the freedom by Arthur Smith to be able to get up to the line and be able to say, all right, well, we gonna audible this way or that way. Hopefully not
Yeah.
audible. Hopefully not audible to a flea flicker or some shit.
Yeah.
But he's able to see that. All right, well, one's over here, so we're going that way, or you know what I mean. But even
Yeah.
in Micah's very fast, man. I'd rather run his way. I'd rather run directly at him,
Because he over pursues.
right? Because his
Yeah.
pursuit is crazy. So I'd rather run right directly at him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um, and just double him or whatever you got to do. But like you said, man, we can't let him wreck the game. We did a great job with Myles Garrett, not letting Myles Garrett wreck the game. I'd like to see a similar game plan with Micah Parsons, except Micah
Yeah.
is much faster, right?
Yeah.
But
A little bit two
similar,
different styles. Yeah.
yeah, similar. They move the ball around, they move them all over different techniques along the line. So they got to just keep an eye out where one is and make sure that they get the help.
Yeah, it's
Get the
funny
help.
how other teams move their best defensive rusher, a pass rusher, around the line, but the Steelers are just like, nah, we're just gonna keep TJ there. They know it's gonna come at him. Like,
Yep,
no, move him around.
yep. So that's
That's why
why.
Mike
That's
is
why.
so effective.
And then they say things like, "This guy's weak against the run," and this, that, and the third, and it's like, nah, they're gonna just keep running the opposite side of TJ. So they're gonna run the fullback, the tight end, everybody that way. TJ, good luck catching us in the pursuit. You're not fast like them other guys.
Exactly.
But if he
Yeah.
does catch you, he does punch the ball out a lot of times. But like,
Mhm. Yeah.
we got to just make sure like, they got to be. I don't know, man. I don't know what Austin is up to. Terrell Austin, but terrible Austin, as they call him. But we'll
Yeah,
see,
I
man.
mean, yeah, we'll see. I like to be optimistic, but I'm a realist as well. So I just this is just not the type of game that the Steelers typically win. So if we keep them below 20, obviously that's Steelers football. If it gets above like 24, then it's going to be tough to win that game.
Yeah, that's getting pulled out to the deep end there. So
Yeah,
we don't want to get to that stage. So hopefully, we can just be consistent on defensive, get off the field on third and longs, and we give ourselves a good chance.
definitely.
I like our chances. I just don't see it happening. But I like to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Absolutely, and it's not like one of those things where I'm saying because I want it to be like a reverse jinx like type situation.
Right.
I just believe that Steelers don't win these games. They rarely win the games that they shouldn't win. So let's have them shock us for once.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a pleasant surprise, no doubt. All right, brother. I appreciate your time this afternoon, this evening. Have a good night. Have a great week, bro.
Absolutely.
We'll be
You
back
too, and
after the game.
we'll link up after the game.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.